Are beginning tonight with team coverage on a controversial story that has been months in the making.
This afternoon, after months of public requests to do so, Salinas city leaders released the names of all 9 police officers involved in 4 deadly officer-involved shootings earlier this year.
The city withheld the names earlier, citing threats against the officers' safety. Today, in a letter to local media signed by the police chief and city attorney, the city said, quote, "The previous threats seem to have subsided and current circumstances no longer justify withholding their identities," and further finds that the public's interest in disclosure of the identities, while not outweighing the Salinas police officers' safety, does weigh in favor of releasing their identities at this time, end quote, which we at KSBW point out separately is in alignment with California law.
And so, after much discussion, we at KSBW are publishing the names released by the city today. And we begin with that first shooting back in March. Police shot Angel Ruiz outside the Wingstop on Constitution Boulevard. Officers involved in that shooting are Sergeant Mark Lazzarini, a 19-year veteran, Officer Daniel DeBoard, and Officer William Yetter, with 3 and 2 years of service, respectively.
The next deadly officer-involved shooting happened outside the Mi Pueblo Market on East Alisal. That happened in May. That's where police shot and killed Osman Hernandez, who was wielding a machete. Those officers were Sergeant George Loricella, an 18-year police veteran, and Officer Derek Gibson, with 6 years of service.
And 11 days later, the shooting death of Carlos Mejia on North Sanborn. The shooting was caught on camera and sparked days of protests in East Salinas. One officer was even knocked out when someone threw a bottle at him. Those officers in the May 20th shooting, Sergeant Danny Warner, who is a 13-year police veteran, and Officer John Lind, with 18 years of service.
The final officer-involved shooting in question, what happened on July 10th. That is when Sergeant Brian Johnson and Officer Scott Sutton shot and killed Frank Alvarado. Johnson is a 10-year service veteran, and Sutton has 7 years of service.
The release of the names comes as city leaders are right now in a workshop aimed at possibly establishing a police oversight committee. Action
News reporter Felix Cortez begins our team coverage tonight with our top story.
Well, Dan, Aaron, the city has had a police advisory committee, has had one for years, but it's much different than a citizens review committee, which has much broader powers. That is something that citizens have demanded, but today the chief says he's not ready to go there. After a rash of Salinas officer-involved shootings, many in the community demanded 2 things from Salinas police: names of those officers involved in the shootings and changes in the way police are policed. Tuesday, a breakthrough in both. The names of officers released the same day the city council heard from Chief Kelly McMillan on changes he would like to make to a police advisory committee.
That the PCAC be charged with reviewing major policy changes, reviewing our training, reviewing new programs, and doing that in a way that invites the public in to view that process and to comment on that process.
The chief said in light of the shootings and the protests that followed, the police advisory committee, he said, was in need of minor fixes and updates.
Bring that information then back to me and allow me to inform my decisions about policy and procedures based on what the community expectations are.
At Tuesday's council meeting, Jose Castañeda suggested what many in the community have called for: a citizens review board that would review the actions of police officers. The chief said that could cost $500,000, and he'd rather hire officers with that money. Mayor Joe Gunter said changing the way the police advisory committee works will help restore trust between cops and citizens.
I think it opens the door for more citizens to see what our procedures are, see what our police chief's giving his officers. One information, is it training issues? I don't know. I think we're going to get to see a little more of everything on this issue.
And a short while ago, we heard that the police advisory committee stopped meeting soon after those rash of shootings because of the ongoing investigations and just because of the flood of emotions that were running through the city. Today, city council members suggested reactivating that committee and appointing it with members appointed by each council member here on the board. But today, no recommendation that we go as far as instituting that Citizens Review Committee, but this discussion is far from over. Reporting from City Hall, I'm Felix Cortez, KSBW, Action News 8.
Felix, thank you. We continue our team coverage with more on whether or not the city and local media should be releasing the names of these officers. Action News reporter Bryn Whitaker continues our team coverage.
Well, Dan, Aaron, there are a lot of strong feelings on both sides of this issue, but now that the city has released the names to the media, everyone is debating whether or not KSPW made the right decision in releasing those names. Now, people took to our Facebook page. They wrote a variety of heated messages on the page, strong feelings for and against the release of the names. KSPW's president and general manager Joseph W. Heston says he decided to release the names after sorting through the threats cited by the police department. He says the threats are not substantive enough to justify secrecy. Now, Salinas Police Chief Kelly McMillan says he is still concerned about the safety of his officers, but for legal reasons had to release the names.
Police, ultimately, sworn officers work for us, and we give them special powers. We entrust them with that and to use that responsibly, and that's a good thing. But what comes along with that is that we don't do it in secrecy.
I absolutely believe there's still a security risk.
Spoke with famous civil rights attorney John Burris, who is representing the families of the two of the men that were killed. He said he was elated by the city's decision to release the names, saying it's the first step in a long process and that accountability and access for the public at large is most important. Now, Burris also added that both those families that he is representing are very happy about this news. Dan, Aaron.
Bryn, thank you. One more note about these shootings. Two of them, the Mi Pueblo shooting and the North Sanborn shooting, are still being investigated internally by the police department. For the first and last, Chief Kelly McMillan tells Action News that he has completed his investigations and his reports are now in the hands of the district attorney's office for review.
Now, we have more of this story on our website and our KSPW Facebook page. As you heard from Bryn, there is a discussion going on Facebook. You can also read the city's release of the names and the reasoning that comes behind the decision to release them. We have published the entire document. You can use your computer or mobile device to read it, share your own thoughts as well, all through KSPW.com.